Welcome to the channel. Thanks for tapping in. I'm your boy Tone Setter. Today in this video, we are talking about if you want the perfect cut every time, say this to your barber. So let's get right into the video, because the flip side of this is every barber should do a consultation before every haircut. Just in case that doesn't happen, here's what you do. So first thing, you want to start with the end goal, and this is how you want to pretty much look when you leave the barbershop, right? And this is why it is so important for the barber to do a consultation, just to ensure that your expectations are met. There were many times as a young barber, even though I would do a consultation before the haircut, once we got to the end of the cut, the client would then explain little detailed things that they wanted, right? So now, as a more experienced barber, I ask very detailed questions along with the consultation. So for instance, I would maybe ask, when it comes to the beard lineup, whether they want the beard lining to be straight or more rounded, or whether they want their mustache to be full, natural, or make it thin. But if the barber does not do a consultation before the haircut, make sure that you have that conversation with him before he even hits you with them clippers. Now, if this is your second or third visit at the barbershop, this is the perfect time to talk about what you didn't like last time about your cut. Actually, the barber should do a follow-up to ask you whether everything was good. Did you like everything? But just in case the barber does not do a follow-up with you, just communicate with your barber just to let them know what you liked about your haircut, or even what you did not like about your haircut. You might want your taper to be lower, or you might want your taper to be higher. So just communicate with your barber just so you guys can be on the same page. And this helps the barber repeat success instead of guessing. So another thing you want to do when you communicate with your barber is to be clear on the length. One thing that I love is when a first-time client comes in and they tell me, for example, give me a 1 against the grain, or give me a 1.5 with the grain. So this lets me know that they communicate with a barber, or even they might have cut their own hair, but at some point they got familiar with the guard system or what length they like. And if you are not familiar with the guard system, tell your barber that you might want half off, or to cut 1/3 off. And you also can use the finger method to measure how much you might want cut. But not being totally clear can lead to unpredictable results. So once you get to the end of your haircut and your desired look, ask your barber, what guard or what blade did you use, for future reference. Also discuss hairline expectations. Let your barber know whether you want a natural lining where it's not so defined, or you might want a crispy lining. But just communicate with your barber to let him know exactly what your expectations are, because I see too many people walking around with a pushback lining, or I've gotten several new clients because their last barber think that they have to push the lining back in order to get a great cut. This is just my take on it, but the hairline is the haircut, right? You can have a great cut, but if the lining is off, to me, that throws the whole haircut off, right? Now, just to cover fade preference, always consider the texture of your hair. So for example, let's say a number 1 blade or a number 1 guard. Depending on the texture of the hair, that same 1 guard or blade will cut more, or it's going to cut less hair, depending on whether your hair is coarse or thin. All right, so you have to consider those two things. And beard instructions matter also. So you want to tell your barber what length and what shape you desire for your beard, and also whether you like a more straight or more rounded look. Understanding your face shape, that can determine whether you want a more straight or more rounded, or what fits your features. And then also determine where you want the jawline to sit. But the barber and client should always collaborate through the haircut. Feel free to tell your barber to turn you towards the mirror, or even give you a handheld mirror. And this way you can make small adjustments early to prevent disappointment later. If you decide to bring reference photos, make sure that the head shape and hair texture is similar to yours. Please do not bring those celebrity, unrealistic photos with people that has different texture hair with a different head shape. Even though the style looks good on them, that style or haircut was specifically cut for that head. I hear so many people or first-time clients mention that it is so hard to find a good barber, right? And I'm not just referring to a good haircut. The point is, once you find someone you like that's reliable, two things: stay consistent with the same barber and practice clear communication. Just by having a conversation, these two things will equal perfect cuts over time. The better you communicate, the better your barber performs. Thanks again for tapping in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video.